winterizing your sprinkler system, here's one way that you can actually drain your backflow preventer. So with your backflow preventer, it's super important that you open up the bleeders. That's one of the first things you want to do is open up your bleeders. And the way that you open up the bleeders is they will have caps. You open them up and then you allow the water to come out. Before you allow the water to come out, you want to make sure that this handle right here, which is nearest your water meter, is completely closed. And then you want to make sure that this handle that goes into your sprinkler system is completely off. And the reason you want to do that is because the minute that you open up your bleeders to allow water to come out, then all the water that is sitting in your main line is going to be draining from the bleeders. So to open your bleeders, you want to make sure that you have a screwdriver and just open it about halfway, and then water is going to come out from all of these bleeders right here. Once the water is completely drained, then the next step is to make sure that you get an air compressor and push air through the system. And this is how you do that. You want to make sure that you close your bleeders and you only leave one open. You're going to utilize the one that you have open, and for example, it could be this one right here. When you connect your air compressor to this one right here, make sure that the rest are closed. Then once you turn on your air compressor, you want to make sure that you only leave it for about 60 seconds. 60 seconds on, 60 seconds off. And if you happen to have a master valve, you want to make sure that you only do it about 2 to 3 times per zone. That way you can avoid from blowing your master valve. So if you happen to have a master valve, just be careful when it comes to that because it can heat up. So keep in mind 60 seconds at the most, 60 seconds off, and then you're going to be running your sprinkler zone one at a time. Now it is best if you have someone helping you do this, because you want to make sure that when you're running each zone one at a time, the minute that you run your zone for 60 seconds, that's the moment that you open up and turn on the air compressor for air to flow inside that specific valve that you just opened. So for example, let's say you open zone 2. The minute that you set your timer, your control box to 60 seconds for zone 2, then you have to rush, or if you have someone, they will turn on the air compressor for that area, and then the air will flow into the zone that you already have your valve open from the controller. So you want to make sure that it stays about 60 seconds. You will see a lot of water coming out. Most of the time, depending on how big your system is, you will see a good amount of water that actually sits on your lateral line, which is the line that connects to your sprinkler heads. You will see your sprinkler heads pop up, and you're going to see a lot of water in about 60 seconds, sometimes less, sometimes before, and sometimes after. You will notice that no more water comes out, it's just air that comes out. And at that point, you want to go ahead and make sure that you turn off your compressor and just leave it off for 60 seconds. Same thing with your controller. And then you repeat that process over and over for every single zone. And just keep in mind that if you have a master valve, you want to make sure that you only do about 2 to 3 zones at a time, so that way you can rest your master valve, and that way you don't blow out your master valve. And keep in mind as well that you want to go ahead and just keep it around 40 to 50 psi and your air compressor, nothing more, so that way you don't blow your valves. Once you're done with your blowout into your entire system, the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you close all your bleeders, and you also want to make sure that you always leave this handle, which is the one closest to your water meter, always closed. And then you want to make sure that you leave this one open. You want to make sure you leave this open. This right here, you want to make sure that after all the blowout, there's no water that sits in this device, which is your backflow preventer. And then you can go ahead and insulate it completely for extra protection.